It's Kirk and Callahan.
Without any further ado,
our guest this week is Kirk Minahan.
All we asked of Kirk is that he open with this.
Pleasure to be here, Richard. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me.
That's correct. Setting the dialogue for the city.
I can set the dialogue for the city.
The greatest podcast.
And I am sober.
City.
I just want you to know for the record.
When I'm on my, when I'm.
we appreciate it.
So, Richard, here's my point.
With Kirk Minahan.
And I want to be part of the company. I mean, I have great friends.
I have friends.
Entercom.
And last night, I agreed to join radio.com. I'm going to do my own show.
It's the Kirk Minahan Show.
On the radio.com app.
I developed this app called Mike's On.
No FCC. Jesus. It's you by yourself. You can do whatever you want.
And Gerry Callahan.
I've given Gerry some grief on Twitter because he handles things differently than I do.
Whatever.
If Gerry weren't allowed on the air, wasn't on the air for a couple months, I would go on the air every day and scream and rant and rave.
I just wear a diaper and just wet myself.
Gerry, I think, is trying to do the best he can in a really tough situation.
Patriots!
He's handling it differently than I would.
And I want to be over there being berated by him. That's what I want. I'd pay money for them.
On Sports Radio, WEEI.
Well, I think that guy's going to join us today, correct?
Yeah, with Third Man In today.
He's going to join us.
On his own show.
I mean, I hope. 8 o'clock, is that the time?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 8 o'clock. So before that, you'll hear him. He'll be on with Toucher and Rich. I believe he'll be on at 6:30. He's going to sit down with Maddie at 7.
Excellent.
7:30 is Carlson and McKenzie. And then what's that other show that he's doing?
He's going Herald Radio at 8.
Oh, Herald. Yeah. If Herald just found out about this, so he'll probably do Herald Radio. And of course, he'll sit down with the Globe and do a long-form Q&A. Because why the hell wouldn't you share the biggest story you got in the show for years? Why the hell wouldn't you? I was glad to see the Globe had it because, the Globe's been so good to us. Why do we not want to give the story to the Globe? And, hell, when I think of a big story and who I want to give it to, I think of The Athletic.
You've always said that. Always said that.
And my favorite branch of The Athletic is always the Toronto branch.
No, I thought you were a Philadelphia Athletic
Philadelphia's
guy.
not bad.
You love
Don't
the
get me
Philly
wrong.
coverage.
There's some great people in Philadelphia, as Kirk is going to find out real soon. Some wonderful people in Philadelphia, but the Toronto branch, the Toronto office of The Athletic, that's where I go for all my news.
Hey, everybody, this is Richard Deitch, and welcome to the Sports Media Podcast. My producer, as always, is Lou Pellegrino.
Oh, Lou's the best.
Lou
is tremendous.
God,
he gets the level set. You can get your glass of water if you need it. It's perfect.
When I retire, when I get fired, I'm calling Lou Pellegrino, whatever his frickin' name is, Lou Pellegrino.
Our guest this week is Kirk Minahan.
Listen to that. That's the big news.
I did listen to it last night, yes, and right when it dropped, 8 o'clock.
Did he open the way? Did he do the Curtis Open?
Can we play the Open, Ken? You want to keep going there?
First of all, I have to say, pleasure to be here, Richard. Thank you for having me. It's a nod to my good friend Chris Curtis from when he was on the program last time.
That's correct. Setting the dialogue for the city.
And I am sober. I just want you to know for the record.
we appreciate both.
No problem.
Pleasure to be here, Richard. Thank you for having me.
Richard.
Was it that
way too much energy to start that podcast.
Kind of energy for the whole thing?
Yes, the entire thing.
How was the girls' hoop roundtable?
No, Matt, Kirk has got a new gig and things are changing. You know what remains the same? Deitch sucks. He sucks. He had a huge story dropped in his lap. And he's got this guy announcing.
It's not a huge story to him.
But it's a huge story in radio. He's leaving a number one morning show to launch his own app. And Deitch is like, well,
what does Deitch care? Deitch is in Toronto.
In media, it's a huge story.
No, it isn't. It is
yes,
not.
It's a monster story.
He's an international guy, Mutt. What does he care about Boston radio?
But it becomes a national story if you're launching this platform.
You're
correct?
out of your mind if you think it's a national story.
It is.
Why don't you pick up the Chicago Tribune, see how they played it?
But it's a national.
The L.A. Times.
Well, it's a national format.
The Boston Herald doesn't have a word about it. How big a story can it be?
Hold on, let me look. That can't be true.
Long-time sports talk
that
show
cannot
host
be true.
in Boston,
Listen,
most recently WEEI.
Richard Deitch is looking at his notes for his girls' basketball roundtable he's got coming up next.
Gino Auriemma has a great backcourt this year.
Did you guys agree with me? Is this the dumbest? I mean, I've been here a long time. I've seen a lot of dumb things, but they give this story to the Athletic of Toronto and the Globe. Is that not the dumbest thing you've seen in the history of WEEI?
It was shocking incompetence.
You think we've reached...
Well, I was going to say...
think we've reached, the Peter principle, our level of incompetence, and then we top it.
My producer, as always, is Lou Pellegrino.
Lou Pellegrino. Lou! It is incredible. That's the
remember
big
when
story.
Lou did that
roundtable,
that college football roundtable a couple months ago? It was a huge
I don't know
the
if
way he
people are
mixed
aware
those
of
sound
this.
together.
We have a new afternoon show. We put the midday show in the afternoon. You might not have heard because we didn't spend one nickel promoting it, marketing it. No billboards, no ads anywhere.
It really
It's just
isn't
like,
in the
hey,
Herald. I thought
hey,
you were
Glenn, Lou, Christian, why don't you show up 4 hours later today? Got Dale, you and Rich, middays. Okay, good. See you. All right, good. Have fun. See ya. No, not 1 second did they spend promoting the damn thing.
Well, the Red Sox are the promotion.
How we
They promote it through the
operate
Red
here.
Sox. That's the big.
That's
That's the
all
operating
right, the
budget,
Red
remember?
Sox. The Red
Is
Sox.
anybody worried?
Can we all say it together? Let's go, Red Sox. Let's
go,
That should be.
Red
I want that
Sox.
in the open every day, Sock Puppet. Every day. That is our new theme. Let's go, Red
Who's
Sox.
open? Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, who's?
I would just like to start a cheer. Let's go Red Sox! Let's go Red Sox!
I thought you were going to say that the.
And I pick up the Globe today.
Yes.
Because Curtis bought a Globe. I'm not sure. I told you to stop doing that.
Sorry, Joe.
Curtis bought a Globe. And it says our show is called Mutt and Callahan.
Yeah, found that. Was
I
suggested
found that
yesterday.
I learned that in the Globe. No one told me that until I picked up the freaking Boston Globe. It's great. That's where I get all my information about WEI from the Boston Globe. God, what an effing clown show this place is.
Well, I can make it better by reading you the press release.
I got to give the Globe credit. I haven't seen that yet either. Why don't you read me the press release? Because we're so good at press releases here.
Okay. Let's see. Our mission at WEEI is to continue to provide the most informative and entertaining sports radio experience for the best sports fans in the country. Did you see the latest press release? How about Lou Merloni and Mike Mutnansky are breakout talents? These new lineups will make us stronger than ever throughout the broadcast day and position us to be dominant for years to come. That's an electric line, right? How about this? WEEI's Dustin Pedroia is Mike Mutnansky. Fresh new combination. Sure to be must-listen radio every day.
Indeed, the maiden voyage.
What's the Dustin Pedroia part?
That was the second worst press release of all time. That was for the Mutt and Merloni press release.
Oh, right. Well,
in
at least Mutt
2011.
Merloni, at least Mutt Merloni had an alliteration. I mean, what is Mutt and Callahan?
It's two names, Jerry. It's two names put
ever.
together. It's two names put together to make a show. That's
Can
what we
you guys,
do around
can
here.
you guys
Dale
tune
and
in?
Keefe, OMF.
Can you tune into McCarthy and whatever that?
Carlson McKenzie, Jerry, come on.
See what Kirk's saying. I want to get ready for the big
Oh, we're
interview.
rolling on it. I'll
He's
grab
coming
it.
here. Roll on Carlson and McKenzie, and then see what he says to Maddie. You know, we want to get the
He's
word
going on
out.
he's on Bobby Bones, too.
We want. I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do. He's the
Bobby
big national
Bones?
guy. 1017.
Swing and a miss.
Bobby Bones. No
Country
idea.
radio. That's your show, Jerry.
The only one I know on country radio is Lori Grandy. She's my favorite country radio person. That's it. And Kirk will be talking to her at 7:45, and then hopefully somewhere around 8 he'll pop in and share his thoughts.
I just got word
about his exciting new venture. Oh, I'm so excited! By the way, the fakest thing in that thing is Kirk's quote. That you read.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Go ahead, Chris.
You really think Kirk gave them a quote?
I did. Yeah, there's a word here he uses all the time around the office. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Carry on.
Okay. Entercom, the #1 creator of live original, this is the actual press release, local audio content in the United States, today announced that leading radio personality Kirk Minahan will launch a new radio show, podcast, and column. Good columnist should write more at radio.com.
Did you make that up?
At Kirk Minahan?
Did you make that column part up?
No, it's right here directly.
It does not say
It says here, new radio show, podcast, and column at radio.com.
You're kidding.
You really didn't read this?
I did not.
Oh, you're going to.
Jesus Christ.
Curtis,
oh, my God.
Curtis,
Trust me, Kirk does not know.
The 50 texts we sent back
Kirk
and
does
forth
not know anything about writing a column.
did not include the idea that Jerry is not. Good, this is new to you.
This is one of the things Kirk and I agree on. That people, idiots like the person who wrote that, don't think it's hard to write a column. They just say, "Why don't you write a column? Man? Write a column." Man. And if you're any good at it, it's hard. You put time in it. And Kirk puts time and effort into
Listen,
it.
as a columnist
You
at the
don't just
Daily
say,
Campus, I'm aware you're talking to a
just
former
don't- yeah,
columnist.
you would know. You're one of those people that'd say, write a column and you'd crank it out like Tangway.
I would,
in
yes.
20 minutes.
I love those Tangway.
I would spend all day.
700
Kirk's
words.
probably
Good
somewhere-
columnist.
And Kirk is going to is that really? Let me see.
Launch a new radio show. You have it in your pile there.
I do. Let
You
me.
do.
I have this press release.
Hey, Jerry, it gets better.
I thought, I mean, why do we need a press release? We have the Globe. Didn't
Well,
they
Kirk's
just-
on with Brock and Salk right now if you want to
good.
hear some of it.
Good. That's important. That's important. We want to take care of our old friend.
Hey, everybody,
Salky.
this is Richard Deitch, and welcome to the Sports
Just so you
Media
know,
Podcast.
Shut up, Richard.
the Mutton Callahan, the one who came up with that name is the same one who came up with Salk and Holly, right?
Yes, and,
same person.
And Dale,
Great.
Dale and Keefe.
That is
Dale
an
and Keefe.
That is an idea, man. We got the best idea men here.
Let's kick it right off at 6 at 6.
The podcast column on radio.com, which, Jerry, did you know the fastest growing digital audio app in the U.S.?
I
his
had no idea.
radio.com app.
I do. Imagine how good it'd be, how fast it would grow if it worked.
It'd be nice.
That'd be
I
unbelievable.
mean, I've tried to listen on weekends. There's no problems there. It doesn't shut off in 3 seconds.
When's the podcast?
For the past
that won't trigger Kirk too much, will it?
No, he'll be okay with
Nah,
that.
he won't mind.
Roll with the punches. For the past 5 years, Kirk has been the co-host of Kirk and Callahan Morning Show on WEEI, Boston's #1 sports radio station. The new platform will expand Kirk's reach to a national audience and explore wide-ranging topics in addition to sports. Kirk's podcast and column are expected to launch in January 2019.
Does it really say in column?
Yes. And his new...
I hope. Does he know this yet?
I don't know.
I can't wait to tell him. He's going to be writing a column.
His new daily weekday radio show, which will include a co-host to be named at a later date.
It's the Kirk Minahan Show.
That is going to be fun to watch. That is going to be hilarious.
Expected to launch early 2019. Pat Paxson, one of our bosses, said, as an industry leader in compelling proprietary content, Entercom is making sure that radio.com is populated with the very best programming. Kirk Minahan fits this model perfectly. His ability to entertain and engage is second to none, and there is no question Kirk will become a highly successful national audio
sounds like
personality.
a good guy to put on Morning Drive, doesn't
I would
it?
think so. Yeah, like he had a number one show.
That sounds like a guy
Boston.
who would work in Morning Drive.
He already conquered Boston. Now on to
He
the
didn't
rest.
say that.
Now he already conquered Boston.
Morning radio.
Now on to the rest of the world! Exclamation point.
Wow. Hopefully, Toucher asks Kirk about that when he goes on there at
I'm
7.
sure he will.
Good.
Quote from Kirk.
You know, you're not a bad guy.
I'm extremely
They're buddies
excited.
already. They're going to get along good. I can't wait. They're going to look for a co-host. That is going to be hilarious.
Says so here. Yeah, including a
the
co-host.
over-under in the first 6 months, how many co-hosts does Kirk chew up and spit out?
Well, if he found the right one, could be
Okay,
like a
how
young,
many?
established guy who's
Sure.
got
Young,
a great mustache.
established guy.
Young, established guy with a great mustache who has an ability to have thick skin and take a beating.
He already said Kirk's first tweet was he wants no part of Mutt. He says,
Sure.
you suck.
Show killer. Jeez.
Quote,
Right, his
quote from
buddy.
Kirk.
You're like his best friend, and first thing he does is dump all over you.
And you're right, best friend. And I know my best friend definitely gave this quote to our bosses. I'm extremely excited to return to the air and reach a national audience.
Is that the quote?
With greater autonomy to focus on a variety of topics and even more digital platforms connect with my fans.
You're kidding. Just so you know, if you're listening or reading that, Kirk didn't say a word of that. That is totally made
this
up.
is where you're unfair.
Totally made
He
up.
walks around the office saying autonomy just randomly all
and
the
he
time.
says, I wanna-
autonomy.
he says, I want
autonomy.
to connect
digital
with my,
content.
Every
Fans,
time I talk
autonomy.
to him, I talk to him all the time. He says, I want to connect. I just want to connect with my fans.
He's always excited whenever I see him.
Excited. No,
Shut
no,
up.
Curtis.
Shut up.
He's always extremely excited when I see him. He says, you know what? I said, how you doing, Kirk? He says, I'm extremely excited.
He said one of the reasons he didn't know why he wasn't back officially on that Deitch podcast. One of the reasons was he wants every show to be remote because he wants to connect with fans every day.
Right, yes.
He
And
said,
you
I
know
want
what he
fans
said?
to come up and talk to me.
I asked him about writing a column every day, every week, whatever. He said, I'm extremely excited to write a column and connect with my fans. God.
Right. Another word he uses a lot. You'll
Do you think I know radio.com's a big brand now. Do you think he has the power to destroy the whole thing by himself, or will he need help?
He can wield that power.
Yeah, he probably
I think
can.
he could. It's been awesome to be part of WEEI, and I know Gerry and Mut will continue to put on a great show.
Yeah, that's what he told me off the air. Same thing, exactly.
I heard the exact same thing. That it's been awesome to be here.
Can you imagine them thinking that Kirk actually said that? I'm sure they'll put on a great show. It's almost like the person who wrote this has never met him.
Might be true. I want to thank the listeners for their patience and loyalty over the past several weeks, and I can't wait to get started on radio.com. Now this is the part where I really think that you're going to be a big fan of. The WEEI Morning Show is being re-envisioned as a more sports-centric show consistent with the station's brand and position as Boston sports leader. For more than 25 years, WEEI has entertained and informed Boston sports fans with engaging, must-listen sports content and analysis in the country's greatest sports city. Going forward, the morning show will focus predominantly on sports and be led by hosts Gerry Callahan and Mike Mutnansky, along with a rotating cast of Boston's most charismatic and intriguing sports personalities.
Sports. As you read that,
sports.
As you read that,
S-P-O-R-T-S.
as you read that, that's the first I've heard of it, and my name is on there, and I'm sitting here. The first I heard of it, of this Mutt and Callahan, the first I heard that you're the full-time co-host is right now.
S-P-O-R-T-S.
That is amazing.
The first I heard of it was yesterday afternoon.
Did you get a friggin' raise or not?
Interesting question. No, we're
So you're
we are
co-hosting a
negotiating.
morning drive, and you're making less than Curtis or Ken.
I was named co-host of a morning drive show in Boston, the currently number one rated in Last Book morning drive show that I was a big part of. And, we're still working through the details of that part.
I hope to win him back. I want to work my butt off.
What a professional operation! You know what? Call the Globe. See what they have planned for the future. Because we want to find out who our co-hosts are going to be going forward. Obviously, that's a great point. Mike. Obviously, it can't be Tomasi. Probably can't be Reamer. So call the Globe. See what they know. That's where I get all my information about things that happen here. The Globe, because the Globe has been so good to us. Why wouldn't you want to feed this to the Globe?
They may have more today. Maybe Kirk will hop on. Does he do Globe Radio? Is that still
Yes. Oh, yes. Kirk's on
excellent.
that, too. 7:35.
Oh,
so.
You can get another spot there.
Right. That's when we're going to do our Women's College Minute every day.
Welcome to Season Ticket from the Boston Globe
see.
Sports
Good
Department
spot
and
there.
WBUR.
I have some ideas because I don't think enough people do really good Western Conference NHL talk. Like that to me is a missing part of the market. If we're going to be sports centric, Jerry,
Pierre LeBrun will be joining us in studio at 8:45.
If we're going to be re-envisioned as a more sports centric show that focuses on sports,
I always said Mutt
Western...
Maloney was underrated. I didn't think it was that bad.
Talking to Pierre Maguire, these two series are going on, and the Bruins will begin their offseason, Pierre. It starts with them losing their assistant GM, Jim Benning, officially named the GM in Vancouver. Your thoughts on that hiring for Vancouver?
The assistant GM for who?
Well, Jim, they lost Jim Benning. I mean, they haven't recovered
that
from
might
that
be
yet.
your lowest
I've never
moment,
heard
Mike.
that name.
Oh, there's a lot more low moments.
I don't think so.
There's a lot lower moments than that. The Jim Benning, trust me, I think Jim Benning was an important dialogue setter.
Let's talk with the heavy building here. And I don't want to say heavy building. I think it's more of a potential reconfiguration here in Boston. It starts with Jerome McGinley, Pierre. You talked to him during the year, and you said that.
Hey, it doesn't sound bad to me. It sounds
terrible to me. That sounds awful right there.
Sounds good to me.
I have
sports
shut
centric.
up.
I like it.
I have done that show. We're not doing that show. I don't care what this says.
If they can get
this
Kirk,
is not the show.
If they can get Kirk to go all corporate, which they obviously
this is
have,
not the show.
Kirk is going to be in Philadelphia now, working with all the corporate types, right up the food chain. He's going to say things like, "I'm very excited to connect with my fans." That's the new Kirk right there. That's corporate Kirk. I'm pretty sure they can get Mutt to go corporate too. So
they can't. No.
I know everybody in this industry. You don't know the people that I know.
Yeah, well, Kirk does. Kirk knows everybody now.
I'm speaking at the Talkers Convention
next year. Kirk is all lined
up.
up.
The face of radio.com. He should speak at the Talkers Convention.
Kirk, you know what else he said? They cut this part off. He's really excited to vie for a Marconi next year. They have a Marconi for digital platforms. Kirk is really hoping to. Yes, he's hoping to win one. Finally,
the word synergy's not here. I'm surprised there's no. People love that buzzword, synergy.
Yes, synergy.
The word autonomy is in here, and awesome is in here.
And you know what he said?
But no synergy.
You know what else he said? He's really striving for nuance. He's hoping for more nuance in his new digital platform.
You don't like nuance.
I admittedly saw this press release
for the
first time yesterday.
We can't see Curtis or Ken.
First time yesterday.
Just to remind you, because we're in this dump of a studio with literally has blood on the wall.
Well, it's DNA. We're not saying blood. We're saying DNA.
We can't
DNA
see our producers.
First show in the new Palace Monday, though, Jerry. We were over there yesterday. It looks great.
Sure.
It does look great.
That's going to be great. Why'd you go over?
Yes,
I was over there yesterday.
Did you go over there? Have your meeting where they told you?
I talked with some people who suggested we'd like to put you
with
this guy, Gerry Callahan.
They closed the deal with Mutt. They gave him a good parking space. See this one by the door? This is for you, Mutt.
Oh, please. You've been telling everybody.
Sign me up.
The door is right near the parking spot. You're in and out of there in 2 minutes. It's great.
Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Because you were recruiting Kirk to
because
come back
I was trying
to
to convince my
But you've been
former
promoting
partner.
that as a big spot.
That was just to convince Kirk to do it.
You also like that, though.
I do not. I do not. The place is going to be awful. There's no cafeteria. There's no garage.
Whoa. Wait a second. I have news on the cafeteria.
I used to do Sports Beat on Channel 38 there.
So they have a system.
50 years ago.
Hold on.
Indeed, the maiden voyage.
So what? We have a beautiful cafeteria downstairs here. Dottie's the best. Hot coffee, great food, everything. The place we're going next week. So you have an account, Jerry. And you get to scan
an egg
salad sandwich out of the fridge. You scan it, and the money comes out of your account.
Well, you missed the biggest moment yesterday, Jerry. Right after his meeting with the big bosses, they said, and here's this, $5 towards the pantry. And Mutt was the happiest guy alive. He signed on the dotted line.
I'm holding out for $10. That's one of the reasons why we don't have a deal done.
Do they have any
amazing
any creatine in the machine?
Oh, they're bringing in some BCAAs.
BCAAs.
Lou is open.
Honest to God, we're going for this great building in the most vibrant neighborhood. We're moving back in time, and we're going to do a sports-centric show, and I can't wait. You guys, Ken, Chris, when did you find out you were going to be producing the Mutt and Callahan show? Because I just found out this morning.
To be honest, I've found out a lot of things in the last 24 hours, and still hoping to find out more today, Jerry.
You're hoping Kirk has vowed to steal you both away from us.
That was an interesting declaration on Twitter. Yes, it was.
Yes, which is great because we're all getting along so great.
Yeah, it's good right now. Yeah,
I'm not really sure why he needs you. He's just going to be sitting in a room talking to 103 people every day about whatever, about his life.
His life? Well, the big college football spots. I mean, and he gets a national show. He'll do national topics.
Football?
Well, you do national topics on a national show,
He's
right?
just going to do his thing, and good luck to him. But
listen,
there's going to be so many things, new things that piss him off. I can't wait.
A national hero today.
Well, you guys are missing, burying the lead this morning. Richard Deitch's UConn at number 3 in his preseason women's basketball rankings.
Wow. When's the last time they were number 1?
I don't know. I think it's the first time in his 15-year history of doing that.
When this stupid Toronto-based podcast came out yesterday.
Hey, everybody, this is Richard Deitch.
Was the opener Kirk, or was it the women's college basketball?
Exclusively Kirk. They separated it. Kirk was too much.
39 minutes of Kirk.
39 minutes of Kirk. Was it fake Kirk like that, the beginning part?
No, I thought it was real Kirk explaining his issues and his mental illness and trying to explain why he wasn't back on the show and ripping you for handling it differently than he would have handled it.
Right, differently. You know how he would have handled it? He would have blown it on the first day, which is probably smart. We would have been all and done with it. Instead, I spent friggin' 6 weeks trying to get his scrawny ass back in here. And that's the thanks I get. He says,
that he would have handled it differently. How'd that sound, Ken?
And you and I didn't kick and scream on the air. Well, you're here every day, Mutt. How do you think that would have gone over?
Wouldn't have gone over. We just got blocked
out.
So
we tried to do it the right way. We tried to do it, behind the scenes. We failed. It's too bad. And now, we're moving on.
Let's hear from, is it Deitch or Deitch? I don't even know. Let's hear
Deitch.
from Deitch going after Gerry yesterday.
Do you feel that the guys on the show have been hamstrung at the moment from talking about you publicly? Just because, again, they're everybody's under contract in Entercom, and it's tricky to talk about a colleague who hasn't been on the air for a couple of months. And people don't seem to know why.
Electric. I guess the difference is, and this is again, I think more a comment on my weaknesses and insecurities than Jerry's, is that I would violate that and go on the air and rant and rave, and then I'd wind up getting in trouble, and it would be counterproductive, and I'd get worked up. Jerry's smart. He's done this for a long time. He loves me. I love him, but he thinks, what is the end game? So I go on the air and I rant and rave when I get 50 tweets saying how great the rant is, and then I go and they say you can't be on the air tomorrow. How does that help Kirk? I think he's tried to look at it big picture. I think behind the scenes he's fought as hard as he could to keep me on the show. It hasn't worked. Some powers that be don't want that. They want something else.
Well,
so
he's right.
That's
100% right. Thank you, Kirk. I take it back. That was 100% right. If you or I ranted a radio on the air, this would have been over in a day. First of all, it would have been dumped. Ken would have dumped it. Wouldn't have been on the air. Or
somebody else would have. Ken would have let it go.
Or Zarbano down the hall would have dumped it. Wouldn't have worked. And then they would have said, forget it. We're moving on day one. Instead, we spent 6 weeks or maybe longer working on this behind the scenes. Every time I said, hopefully Kirk's back tomorrow, or you said, hopefully Kirk's back.
It got redundant, but that was
every time we said
the point.
That was 100% legit. There was always that day where they said, well, hopefully tomorrow, and something came up.
It was every day at the end.
And that was legit.
Maybe Kirk tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
I never said that when I didn't mean it. I thought he was coming back. He thought he was coming back. I mean, it is bizarre that the co-host, the heart and soul of the #1 show is now gone. That is bizarre. Even for me. Even at this screwed up place we work, that is so bizarre.
Jerry, it's stupid. I mean, that's the word. It's absurd. No one here, nobody wanted this end result. It's great that he has this new platform, but I can tell you right now, nobody wanted this. It's why every day we kept saying the same thing over and over again.
I would say nobody's a strong, a little bit of a
Do you think anybody in this circle or in this
No,
building?
No, the people in here, in Boston, in this company, there are, I'll just say it this way. If you want to find out the facts, the truth, you can look elsewhere. You can look online. You can look on Twitter. There's lots of people who are digging. You won't see it in the Globe, but there are dark forces at work. Literally people you don't know are very happy today. People you don't know are very happy. They win. They win.
Those people aren't here in this. Right, the
No,
four of
the
us
people in
here.
the building, the four of us, Kirk, even Joe Zarbano, Mark Hannon, we all wanted it to work. There are people outside the building who are thrilled today. They win.
They want to go locally, from a company perspective, in a different direction that's less acerbic, less. I guess they would use mean-spirited, and more of a traditional sports talk show in the molds of, say, Mike and Mike.
Okay, that's a lie.
Cruel.
That is a lie.
That is vicious.
He knows that's a lie. That is to get under my skin, I guess, or your skin, I guess, because exactly the show is never, ever, 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 ever going to be like Mike and Mike. That's never, ever going to be the show. It was never
in the molds of, say, Mike and Mike.
If Kirk were back or not, he knows that would not have been the show, whether he were here or not.
Kirk's going to be doing a cheesy little internet thing in the mold of Glenn Ordway up in his attic, right?
Oh, wait a second. Do they have a good internet connection? Because some days I tune into Glenn and I get a tweet an hour later saying the internet,
radio.com?
The internet is down. I can't. I try to listen to it. It doesn't work.
I hope they work out.
It worked
the
one
kinks.
time. I heard Trey Flowers once, but that was it.
Kirk's the canary in the coal mine. I hope they work out the kinks and get it all figured out, because they picked the right guy. He'll be very patient with all the difficulties they have going forward. Kirk will be great. I'm sure in a year or two they'll build something.
So he is going to join us in studio at 8 o'clock. He'll be in here for a couple hours today. After he does all the other shows he's doing today, we probably play sound of him on these other morning shows as the day goes on.
I don't think we're allowed to. If you want to hear Kirk, tune in to elsewhere. He's making the rounds. He's doing a PR thing. If you haven't heard yet, he went on a Toronto podcast. If you haven't read, it's in the Globe. It's in the Globe. We literally had people sitting here waiting to write about it for our worthless website. I'm sorry, Bradfo. When the website can't break the big story, it is worthless.
Were they told they couldn't break it?
Yes.
Down? Okay.
Yes, they were told. Yeah, I'm not saying it's their fault.
Oh, you said worthless, as in it was their fault for not breaking the story. Gotcha.
So we have a website.
Hello.
We have a website that doesn't break the big story.
Well, we had hosts who wanted to talk about it yesterday.
We had hosts. Glenn Ordway told me he was told he could not talk about it. So we waited and said, let's wait. Our friends at the Globe want to be first. Let's hold on to that. So Glenn was not allowed to break the story. Alex Reamer was not allowed to break the story. Rob Bradford was not allowed to break the story.
We certainly were not allowed to break the story here. On this show, which would have made the most sense of all, break the story here and react to it live.
I think Kirk even volunteered to write about it himself.
He wanted to come in yesterday. So you really want to get to the honesty. He wanted to come in yesterday and do this before Deitch's podcast aired. Kirk wanted to be here. I talked to Kirk. He volunteered to come in. I reached out to Curtis. Kirk reached out to management. And he said, I will go in Wednesday before this thing goes and do this then. They chose not to. Somebody above my pay grade said, it's probably not the best thing. We're going to give the Globe the story at 5 o'clock. We'll have a press release at 6 that is trash, a trash press release.
Is just a way
and then
to
Richard Deitch will have the entire story in his terrible interviewing style at 8 p.m. That's how we're going to do it. It was not supposed to go down that way. If we had our way, first of all, Kirk would be here every day. I'd be a third man on this show full time. That was my hope. But once we got to a point where it was not going to happen, you heard Kirk with Deitch there. He should have been in here yesterday to break the story here on his own
the Globe
show.
Wouldn't have liked that. That wouldn't have gone over well at the Globe. So we're happy now. If you want to read about it, the Boston Globe. It's only I think how much is it every day? $7 to buy the Globe. No, you could subscribe. Do you guys have the number people can call our website if they want to buy the Globe and read about it today?
We'll tweet it out in a second.
Oh, good. Tweet it out. Yeah, we want to help. This is all about synergy.
Good for the Globe for wanting to be careful.
Good for the
and
Globe.
get it right.
Going forward, we are big fans of the Globe.
Promo code
Promo
Gerry?
code, yes. Promo code Gerry.
Ooh, no.
Give you a discount.
How about Mut and Callahan? That's the way to do it.
Yeah, promo code Mut. There's such a good ring to it.
So Kirk will be here at 8 o'clock today. My thought is that it's in true fashion of the show. We just open the phones and take calls here. There's nothing else to talk about today.
Let's take calls.
The only other thing that's interesting mildly is this Fitchburg Steak Kid, which I'm sure we'll talk about
we'll get to that.
during headlines. But
I was trying to think of the worst cheap shot I've ever seen. And
Marty McSorley.
Hockey almost deserves its own category.
Okay.
That press release?
That's it, yes.
Good.
Kirk's fake quote.
I think that's a cheap shot.
The worst cheap shot I've ever seen. That would be either that waking up to this press release
in the molds of, say, Mike and Mike
Globe story. Marty McSorley. There's all kinds of what's his name? Cook. What's Cook's
Matt
name?
Cook.
Matt Cook.
On Bergeron. But you said hockey is his own thing. I mean,
It is kind of, isn't it?
Yeah. Izzy Alcantara
How about Chris
kicked the guy
Nyland
once.
to
again, hockey.
Milberg. Manny Machado.
Rick Milt, his teeth out.
Ooh, Manny Machado's the dirtiest player in sports.
Manny Machado. But that would be the worst. I can't top Rudy Tomjanovich getting his face crushed by Kermit Washington.
This
But
one was pretty
if you
bad.
haven't seen it, it's local.
It's unbelievable.
It is totally viral. It's everywhere. Every news channel, every sports channel has this cheap shot of the Fitchburg State kid against the Nichols kid. Elbows him in the face. But here's the thing. This kid's going to get over-punished. He's going to, and I don't care. He deserves, he deserves to get punished. But you watch. This kid he'll get kicked out of school. He'll get arrested. He'll go to jail, and it won't be enough. It's going to be the mob will take over here.
He will never play Division III basketball again.
He will never play basketball again. It's going to be so over the top.
And he does this thing where he looks at the official on the baseline, thinking no one's seeing him.
I know. He runs back.
He's
runs
so
up on
happy with
offense.
himself. I can't find the backstory on it. I want to know what led this kid, because Jerry's right. It's the cheapest of cheap shots of all time, which I'm sure will mix in. But I mean, this is the story today. The show is changing. Kirk's going national. He's leaving us. And we want the fans
Is that
to
what you
react
call
to
it? National?
It's a national platform.
It's the Kirk Minahan Show.
Did you read the podcast? The guy's an industry leader, and this Entercom's an industry leader in compelling proprietary content.
Right.
They want to make sure it's popular with the best.
Gotcha.
He's going to have greater autonomy. And he says it was awesome to be part of WEEI. See, you don't believe all those things? You don't think he said it?
I don't think he said one word of that. Of course I don't.
So I'll just give the phone number, 617-779-7937. Your reaction. I mean, that's the show. Kirk's going to be here at 8. We'll hopefully get some more answers than Richard Deitch got last night in his 40-minute podcast with Kirk. But that's my plan.
I would ask our listeners what they would like to call the new show, but that's already been taken care of. No one asked me, you, just...
Well, until the ink's dry, I mean, I guess you can call whatever you want. I mean,
it's already in the Globe.
I would call it the Jerry
official.
Callahan. I would have called the Jerry Callahan Show for now until things are worked out. But they have not done that. They are calling it the Mutt and Callahan Show, so we can get calls on that.
Coffee with Callahan.
Sure. Yeah.
Do that. And
is Ken still here, or did Kirk steal him yet? Is he still in the
Here for now, Jer.
Oh, good.
Ears are open, eyes are open.
I can't see you. I'm just not sure. Chris, when he sneaks out, can you tell me? Because I want to,
I will, absolutely.
I want to try to stop him. I know Kirk is already angling to steal my producers.
Perfect Entercom fashion. This is the biggest day in the
Kirk
station
goes on
in
Twitter
5 years.
and said, I am going to steal the producers from this morning show. And,
Said
he's
both.
going to try.
He did, but we will get to all
And one thing, Mutt, speaking of the producers,
Sure.
we have because this is the final day of the Kirk and Callahan Show before the new show, which we all were a part in creating, starts. So we have the best moments of the last 2 years, which I think will be interspersed throughout the course of the show, if that's okay with you guys.
Jerry?
Just do it. Don't check with me. No one checks with me on anything.
There is no
Just
idea.
do it. Who cares?
617-779-7937 is your phone number.
Great segments, and then everyone will call and everyone will ask, why are you not doing that anymore? And we'll say, I don't know.
Well, they'll because
I don't know.
There's more autonomy other places, I guess. It is indeed Kirk and Callahan.
But have you and or your representatives discussed any kind of negotiated buyout or lease? Is that where this is heading?
No, well, so So there was some talk of that early on. There was some back and forth, not a lot. Some, it's a long contract, and I think they believe in my talent. They want to use me, and I want to be part of the company. I mean, I have great friends, and by the way, I want to work with Jerry Callahan and Chris Curtis and Ken Laird and all the guys on the show. I love those guys on the show. I've given Jerry some grief on Twitter because he handles things differently than I do. If Jerry weren't allowed on the air, or wasn't on the air for a couple months, I would go on the air every day and scream and rant and rave and F-bomb and yell and go into management and scream, and it wouldn't be productive. Jerry, I think, is trying to do the best he can in a really tough situation.
Oh, so Kirk already called or texted Sock Puppet and told him to play that again because he's texting me and says I wasn't fair to him in the first segment. And he's right. I didn't hear that. I didn't listen to this cheesy podcast. So who did he text, Curtis or Ken? Which one of you guys did he text?
I didn't get a text at all.
See, he lies as easily as his hero.
Check my phone if you'd like.
And told you to play that.
Don't offer that up in this building. They will check your phone. They will take.
But he's
they will
right.
Take your
he's
phone
right.
away.
Kirk was, as he said, he filleted me in the podcast, and he's right. He did. I didn't hear it.
Can't believe you didn't listen. I was down right at 8
I was
o'clock.
watching Tucker.
That is very much on brand for you. But I think Deitch.
You think I'm going to listen to that podcast?
Yes, kind of important.
When Michael Avenatti is getting frog marched out of the LAPD.
It was funny as the
Police
podcast
Department.
is breaking.
It was so great.
Podcast is breaking. Everyone, on Twitter. Podcast out. I was actually talking to Kirk when it happened. Hung up and said, "I got to listen to your dumb podcast."
I don't subscribe to the Athletic anyway. I don't think I could have listened.
It was free to listen.
It was free to listen. If you check your iTunes feed, you could have done it. But it was right at that time. You're retweeting all the Avenatti stuff. I knew
it was great.
It was going to put you.
Can you check and see if we're allowed to?
Mood.
Oh, he's probably already dumped that. Did you dump? Avenatti's a long word. Did you dump the whole word?
Well, there's a dump button in corporate now, Jerry, so that's been cleaned.
So no, are we, see, I don't even know. I swear to God, are we allowed to do headlines today?
We can do everything today.
I have an epic headlines coming your way today. Plastic bags are no longer in Boston.
Oh, great. We're making such progress.
This fake paragraph is to be ignored. This is not a real paragraph.
You know why it was 19 degrees when I got up today? Because we don't use plastic bags anymore. Right. That's why. It's
a good read. Well, if you could start,
and if we had one of our co-hosts like Reamer or Tomasi, they would try to connect the two. If you don't use plastic bags, it will get colder, right?
So in the summer when it's really hot, what does that mean?
We're dealing with morons day and night, all day, every day. We're dealing with morons. But anyway, that was Kirk on this Toronto-based podcast where he said that he loves us all and we love him, but he's he's going to be in here one more time today at 8.
He'll be in studio for 2 hours.
He's going to tell us how extremely excited he is to write a column.
And how awesome it was to be a
website.
part. And how great Gerry and Mut have been on the air and continue to be great.
Said your name twice?
Gerry and Mut.
More of a traditional sports talk show in
the mold of Mike and Mike, which is that part's it.
That is cruel. That's why I was mad.
You want to take phone calls here, Jerry?
What else does Kirk want you to do, Sock Puppet? What else did he tell you to do?
Take calls about him,
okay,
of course.
Good. We'll do it then. Let's take calls about him. Let's go to John in the car. Hey, John, you're first. What's up, John? Oh, you're first on the Mut. Is it Mut and Callahan today or tomorrow?
Today is Kirk and Callahan.
Tomorrow.
I'm being told there is already rebranding in the works for tomorrow.
Excellent. What's up, John?
Before November 15th, 2018, the worst decision ever made by WEEI management was replacing Glenn Ordway with Michael Salk. Disaster. And I'm so worried that this is going to be the same thing. I listened to every minute of Kirk Minahan, of his podcast, of him on radio, and this is awful. Please do something, Jerry.
Well, Jerry tried.
Jerry tried like you wouldn't believe. And, Kirk understands that. And I mean, it almost happened many, many times. We almost got him back in here.
It was meeting after meeting after meeting, and it was.
I've never been in so many meetings.
It was
usually we don't have that many meetings.
It was day after day of the not the goal line changing, but the end result changing of what's going to happen. Kirk's going to be in today. Kirk's going to be in tomorrow.
People at Beasley in a meeting, corporate people.
Yes,
it
corporate
changed
people
literally
like Kirk.
Every
Kirk's
day,
a corporate guy
every phone call. It changed what was going on with Kirk. And I watched Jerry up close, do whatever he could.
Thank you, Mutt. I'm proud to have you as my partner. Not my life partner, my radio partner.
Should I have a contract first? How does that work?
Yes.
Can you have a show without a contract?
Did you guys
and a deal?
ask him the same question I said to him today? I said, Mutt, your name's on the show. It's morning drive in a major market. Did you get a raise? And Mutt's like, I don't know. I'm working on that.
Will the contract come first and then?
Yes.
You would think. And I'm not familiar with the idea of contracts in general, Ken, but you suggest that you'd want to try to get that done before you put the name on the show.
Can you imagine the money this company is
thing.
saving? They get rid of Kirk and Dino, both of whom made a good living. Kirk made a really good living doing this. They get rid of those guys, and they bring in the Mutt man. This company is saving a fortune on this alleged.
I'm going to reach out to Dino,
show.
see how he's doing today.
Featuring Mutt.
Peter's in South Carolina. What's up, Peter?
Hi. How you guys doing this morning?
Hi, Peter.
I'm sort of touting you guys for the fact that all of a sudden we got this Kirk nationwide show where I've had to listen to you guys on radio.com for well over a year. How come you guys haven't been promoted as nationwide and therefore been able to put the pressure on for extra shekels associated with that?
I'm not sure.
Why don't you handle that question?
They think they made a decision with Kirk. They plucked him. I'll read the press release. Geez, what am I doing here? Entercom is making sure radio.com, which sometimes works,
They
sometimes
wanted him
doesn't.
off
It's
the
populated
show.
with the very
Nobody
best
in
program.
here wanted him off the show. No, nobody. Not the four of us. Nobody. Not the program director. Not our general manager. Nobody wanted him off that. Well, maybe Dale, but nobody else wanted him off this show. Nobody.
Keith?
But people, outside forces and corporate and way up the food chain, they thought differently. Unfortunately, Peter.
All my point is you guys need to push for nationwide money because you've been nationwide. I can't listen to you anywhere else.
Oh, good. There you go, Mutt. You're nationwide.
So you listen to us both.
Like ZZ Top. You're nationwide.
Across the Board has been national for years.
What has?
The Across the Board podcast. Chris is right. Does that
Across the Board? That's really the name of your podcast?
Will Kirk take that as part of the radio.com?
No, you definitely
Why
won't.
not?
No.
That's a market
Across the Board?
Yes.
Mutt, if you Google that, there's probably 50 podcasts with that same name.
There's like 2.
No.
Somebody, they stole, the guy in New York stole mine.
That's a terrible
Stole
name.
my name.
It's not-
Hi-ho Pimlico.
No joke. I just did a search of Across the Board podcast. There are 10, and there's not even Mutts on here.
That's not
Board Game
That's
Geek,
such
NYRA.
That's such a lame name.
It's a board gaming podcast. Oh my God, there's nothing about you. Andy Sterling Across the Board.
Yes, they stole. That's 8 years old, 10 years old.
Well, they're all. I did a Google search, so the most recent and topical searches come up first, and yours is nowhere to be found.
I didn't do one for. There was a lot of stuff going on Breeders' Cup this year. I didn't do one in November. I've not done one since last June.
Okay,
so
well,
it's been a while.
That's still not a very creative name. That's not like Mutt and Callahan.
Well, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well, what's your idea for the name of the show? Then?
I don't know.
If I'm here with you full time, what's the name of the show?
I don't know my stupid horse racing terms, but we can come up with a better name for your podcast.
Okay, so come up. Forget the
Why don't
podcast.
you call it
How
Enough
about the
About
show?
Me?
Ooh, I think that's.
How about The Real KNC? No one does that anymore.
How about Third Man Out?
Are you guys really doing one of those?
We have a final one today.
A final one? Why?
Well,
because you're leaving?
Pending a rebranding of some sort.
Because you're heading to Philadelphia with Kirk?
I have no idea where I'm going.
I'm
open to options.
Back to
the
PA.
messy divorce begin. This is today's the beginning. Today's the beginning of the battle. This is it. He wants both producers. He is going to fight for both producers.
Here's what I
And
don't
Gerry
understand
and I are
is
going to
he's-
fight to keep them here.
Yeah, but you're not a good fighter, Mutt. I'll do my best.
Well, listen, part of my
I understand.
negotiations.
I understand why he wants Ken. Ken's the best button pusher ever. He's brilliant at it. But
Thanks,
why?
Jim.
Why does he want you, Curtis? He's not going to have guests. He's
In fact,
not
we
going to have.
discussed this on a previous show. He chose Curtis over me, if when pushed, who he would take of the two
Yeah,
of us.
but Curtis is important to this show. What would he do if that cheesy little internet thing? What's Curtis? He's not going to have guests. He's not going to have co-hosts, like rotating co-hosts. What would you do, Curtis?
I've sort of been told I'd be like Mutt. I'd be his personal support dog. I'd sort of be there
so
to
you get
comfort.
abused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a bad way to.
But at
make
least
a
there'll be like nothing. There'll be nothing goes wrong in the launch of that, where Curtis wouldn't take
No.
a obsessive beating. No.
And Kirk won't mind. He'll roll with the punches.
Good job, Curtis.
Thanks.
Let's go do Andy in East Hampton. Hey, Andy.
How you doing?
Andy.
Gerry, I love you. Mutt, you're awesome. The liberal guys you guys tend to have on, like Reamer and Drellick, not a big fan. But,
Good. They're out. Say goodbye.
Are they? Hold on, Andy. Do you think either Reamer or Drellick or anyone currently on the casting couch is Boston's most charismatic and intriguing sports personalities?
No, they're out.
Because the press release says that's who's going to be joining the show as like a third person in.
Definitely not Drellick. I would give Alex charismatic, yes. But I do have to say this, Gerry, I share political views with you more often than anybody else. And I love you. I love Mutt. But I'm going to tell you right now, if Kirk steals Curtis, who is the funniest guy since Kirk has disappeared.
Good morning.
Probably walking away.
It is true. Curtis has come out of his shell.
I was just going to get into that hot tub.
That was one of my favorite.
We will do our best, Andy, to keep him here. We love him. We
He
need him.
needs to stay. He needs to be the permanent third man.
Well, that's not.
Let's not go crazy. Andy.
That's not a terrible.
He's
idea.
a permanent third man. He's a fourth man.
He's legit. He's turned himself into, he and Ken, legit Boston morning personalities.
I don't have a hobby.
Yes. Do you feel that way, Curtis? You feel like you got more freedom without Kirk, and you can say what you want, and
It's a lot easier to jump in when the Mutt man is there. No disrespect to Mutt than when Kirk is, because every mistake is caught in 2 seconds. But I love working with Mutt. He's a great guy.
Of course he is.
You're
He's
fine
too good a
producer.
guy.
He's a
Everyone
fine
likes
host.
Mutt except Dale, but everyone likes Mutt. Stu is in Situate. Hi,
Mikey doesn't.
Stu.
Gerry, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Stu. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm wondering if you're going to be able to pitch me on the idea that my hatred of you is really going to be enough to compel me to listen every day. I mean, you just already talked about plastic bags. I wish one of those would just sort of flop over your head and choke you out. It's just painful.
But you listen every
like
day?
Like a dolphin, yeah.
I used to listen every day, of course, right? So we love Kirk, hate Gerry. I'm just wondering if hate Gerry's enough to compel me to listen just to be pissed off.
I'll try, Stu. I'll do my best. But probably not. You'll find something else.
Why, do you want to get rid of the plastic bags, Stu? You think they're affecting the atmosphere?
Every time you drive down the road, one's going to hook onto your car because they're blowing all over the world.
Yeah, every time. I've never
Where's
had one
the
hook onto
problem
my
now?
car.
Have you tried to drink out of a paper straw yet, Stu? It's really fun.
Or no, you could be a man and not use a straw, but that's up to you.
Ooh, that's
But haven't you heard
Wow.
you get a better
Women
buzz
don't-
with a straw? That's what I heard. I went to
The alcohol
I went
gets
to
in your system
I
quicker
went
with
to
the straw.
Market Basket
There are
yesterday.
plenty of way cooler, environmentally friendly
I
straws.
carried 12 bags in one trip out of Market Basket. 12.
6 and 6?
Yes, 6
Good
and
for you.
6. I think it might have been 7 and 5.
What a
But
hardo.
Stu, how am I going to do that with paper bags? That's just a hardship.
First off, it is awful. Or you could get a reusable bag. Oh, my God. How would
screw
you ever
that.
manage
My
that?
wife has a
reusable bag.
I never. A
Right.
box of plastic
Reusable
bags. at
bag.
home.
You know what?
He's got a reusable bag. His name is Mut. Maybe he could help you carry the groceries.
I love the people with the
I'm willing to do
reusable
that. Let's
bags,
negotiate.
Or people get the paper bags and they carry them out to their, Toyota Sequoia.
Or the 10-cent
Or
ones
their-
now, where they charge you 10 cents a bag at Market Basket because
They
they want
do?
you. Yes, there are these reusable, not full-time reusable, partially reusable, at 10 cents a pop. At CVS, they make you pay for any kind of bag now.
See, I like plastic bags because when I'm done with them, they float away in the wind. I just throw them up and the wind blows them into my neighbor's yard. And
No, you like them because they're shorter than a paper bag because your knuckles are dragging on the ground. That's the only reason you know it's a
you
bag.
got me there, Stu. Screw you, Stu. Who needs you? Ken
Not
is in
falling
Winthrop.
for your ruse, straw.
Hi, Ken. What's happening?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Question, and I also have a prediction. My first question is with Minahan leaving, does this open the door for Dino to come back?
Oh, definitely.
Yes,
probably,
yes.
Probably by Monday.
Part of my negotiation is Dino back.
Okay, excellent. And my prediction is 1 year from today, Minahan will return to Boston radio because his going away to a national show is going to be like Holly leaving middays and going to that sports show that nobody watches.
I wouldn't be surprised. Kirk will miss it. He's great at it. We'll miss him. I don't think he's burned in. Believe it or not, I don't think he's burned any bridges.
No,
he?
I don't.
Not
I don't,
yet.
I mean, call the show a Mike and Mike mold. That
Yeah,
might burn some
right,
bridges
yeah.
internally. But I think the caller makes an excellent point. In this building, the door is never closed. I don't know when it'll be. He will be back. He'll be back as part.
The door for him.
He's
right?
going to be popping in on this show. He's
I'm
still
only
part
joking.
of the Entercom universe.
Dino will not be back, Ken. He's
Why not?
happy in retirement.
I don't. You think
He said
you don't
it's
think-
underrated.
You don't think Dino has been reaching out sort of behind the sines? Is the Kirk stuff been bubbling? With
Yes,
our
he
bosses to
has.
get
Retirement is underrated.
I know for a
Right.
fact he's put his he's butted his nose into some of this. Okay, so he is around. He is sniffing.
Well, then it would have to be
Deep
the
looming.
mutton
Certainly has
Dino.
butted his nose into this.
Why he's been butted his nose? Why wouldn't you do a
Has
show?
he
with
reached
Dino?
out to you guys?
Oh, I've been getting texts from Dino recently, yes.
Yeah, kind of randomly all of a sudden, right?
So,
At random
yeah,
times.
At
of the
random,
day?
around
Huh.
like 7:30 at night.
Oh, weird.
It
Crazy.
would have to be the Mutton Dino show, the Dino and Callahan show.
We
Ain't
tried
happening.
that. It was the worst fill-in show of all time.
Well, you can work on it, man. Put some effort into it. Evan is in Maine. Hi, Evan.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say that I got to give my support to Mutt and Callahan going forward. At first I was really disappointed in everybody in the Boston WEEI offices, thinking that you guys had something to do with Kirk not being back on the air. But the more I dug into it, it's pretty clear what those external forces at play were. And so I'm not sure I can feel really good about supporting Kirk on the Entercom platform. Thanks for what you guys do, and I look forward to listening to you in the future.
Well, you could do both. I don't know if you read the Globe, and why wouldn't you? I mean, I start every day with the Globe. Kirk will not be on 6 to 10.
Yes, he
He'll
said
be
that
on
on the
in
Deech.
middays.
He said that with Deech too.
Did he
the
say
Globe,
that?
Globe just quoted him with Deech saying he doesn't
So
know
why,
what time
why do
it's
you
gonna
have
be
to
on.
listen to Deech?
But he
Globe-
said to
Globe
start, he
takes
will
care
not
of
be
it.
on in the mornings against his former
By
show.
the way, terrific 6-part series on Aaron Hernandez.
Well, I thought we'd play some of the sound
Terrific.
from the last
Oh, yeah,
podcast.
we should.
I mean,
Let's
they really delved
Nailed it.
into the CTE and why the NFL's turned a blind eye.
Nailed it.
This is really a good introspective look at what's been
agree.
going on at the Globe.
I agree, but it's going to be middays. It's something like 10 to noon or whatever, 10 to 1.
I think 11 to 2 might be a good
11 to 2?
good time to run a 3-hour show.
Yes, so it won't be
2
head to
hours
head with
live,
us, but it
one
will be like podcasted or whatever, posted.
Well, it's gonna be live. What do you mean?
I know, but you'll be able to listen later if you want.
Yeah, it's all the, just like segments of most. I was gonna say most segments of the show are posted online. You can go listen to afterwards.
are?
Not all of them. Yes.
Karen is in Agawam. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Jerry. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hi, Mutt.
Good morning, Karen.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I will continue to listen to you. I love the show. I loved Kirk as well, but I feel like people like Kirk, it was kind of bound to burn out. I feel like that situation and where things had been headed the last year, it all felt kind of like a hot cup of coffee that was going to spill, but I love you guys. I love Mutt. I think that without him, it's been really different, but I'm still tuning in every day, and I'm not going to change that at all.
We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Karen. And the show is
Are
not.
you
if you
looking-
like Kirk and Callahan,
Are
you're
you
gonna like
looking
the show.
forward to Peter McGuire every week, Karen?
What can I say? You guys are a big part of my day, my routine. It gets it started off in a way that I'm not going to change that. So
Excellent. We got Karen, but
Karen and Agawam.
Say Mike and Mike.
Shut up.
That's a pretty good shot from. And you know what? I'd say Kirk's going to be like Mike Francesa. Just one guy sitting in a room, probably in his oceanfront mansion, just sitting in a room talking.
We had that
to
fake
himself.
background. We're
Yes.
doing shows from home.
Life's weird. It really is sometimes.
Yes, he'll be doing shows.
Or is he doing shows next to us at the new building? How's that going to work?
It's going to be great.
He'll be in here.
Get along great.
Kirk will be here at 8 to answer all these calls, and we're taking your calls. And this is the show. We are reacting. You're letting you react to the news. 617-779-7937. The phone number that will include, of course, Chris Curtis on headlines later next hour on Kirk and Callan.
How about if we give Curtis a point if he knows what CCR stands for?
No,
that's not fair to Mutt. The answer is it
what?
doesn't matter. But sure, yeah, go ahead.
Do you know what
What's
it
CCR
stands for, Mutt?
Clarence Clearwater Revival. See, I don't. What is it, Curtis?
I knew the R was revival.
Is it Clarence or Clearance? Which one is it?
Wow, wouldn't want any more. No more of that. No more of that fun. We're done with that fun. We're done. What do you think?
Who says that? Oh, the press release.
Cy
Sorry.
Young. Can you believe Jacob deGrom won? Guy had a losing
Only
record.
10 wins, Jerry.
I'm not ready to talk about it
You're not?
because I think that when something that emotional happens, I like to wait a day to really before I dig in. I'm just ready now to talk about the NL manager spot. I mean, my God.
I don't even know who that guy is, but Blake Snell. Do you happy about this? Pissed about this? Chris Sale got screwed. Wasn't his fault he got hurt.
I like when a guy like Blake Snell wins an award. Now, I can spend the next hour on it if you want, but this is a guy that came from nowhere, Jerry. Pittsburgh retread, traded there, and really found himself. You talk with John Smoltz.
All right, let's go to Anthony in Rhode Island. What's
I
up,
had more thoughts.
Anthony?
Damn it.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Just wanted to give my best regards to Mutt. He's doing a great job. I love the way you sound, and I think you and Callahan make a good team.
Thanks, buddy.
We need more people who hate.
Save that, Ken.
hate
Send it
Mutt.
to the
We need-
bosses.
We need
Thank
more
you.
people who hate you. You got
plenty
two.
of people hate me.
There's
Ask
two.
for Mutt hate calls. You will have them loaded up.
617-779-7937. Call us if you hate Mutt. We need some people who hate Mutt. Well, there's a big void. A lot of people hated Kirk.
Why can't people hate you and like me?
Well, I was already here.
You're very hateable, Jerry.
I know. That you're missing the point. Kirk was too. Kirk was hateable. He was hated, but he was also loved. I want you to evoke the same kind of emotions out of people. You think you can do it?
Yeah, I believe definitely can. Yes.
Yes. Other than Dale and Mikey, who hates
Watch
you.
this. Dale sucks. Mikey sucks. Where are the calls? Let's go. Where the Mutt
Dale
calls?
doesn't
Let's do
even
it.
hate you as much as he hates Curtis. So you can't even. You're not even the most hated guy on the show.
By
By
Dale?
Dale.
I mean,
By
there's a ranking. He is officially not talking to any of us. He used to get the courtesy hello in the hallway. That is absolutely done. I had many people reach out yesterday, send me a text after some of this news broke. Dale was definitely not one of them. He is with head
that's all
down,
changing.
walking
We're
by
all on the same,
right by us.
We're all on the same team now.
Coffee cup ruined everything.
Coffee cup?
Yes.
Who's that?
Me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Coffee Cup. Yeah.
By the way, great book signing last night. I got it signed to
Did you
Coffee
go?
Cup.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
Because he's an idiot. Because he's got the brain power of a coffee cup.
Maria is in Watertown. Hi, Maria.
Hey guys, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Maria.
So I'm going to choose to focus on the positive. So while it's to me very, very disappointing that Kurt won't be back on your show because I just love listening to him and I love listening to you guys as a group. I think one of the positives that's coming out of this is the fact that Curtis and Mutt have really blossomed during Kirk's absence, and it has been enjoyable to listen to that transition. And Mutt, you've done a phenomenal job, so I wanted to give you credit for that. And just quickly want to say that if, in fact, Kirk does have free reign on this podcast, I feel really, really bad for his enemies because the rest of the country is going to know how awful and what maggots some of these people are, to use your word, Gerry. So thanks for the time, guys, and good luck going forward. I'm going to keep listening.
Well,
So
thank you,
thank
Maria.
Thanks, Jerry.
I'm looking forward to Kirk's little internet show, too. It's going to be good. But trust me, he does not have free reign. I wish he did.
Well, yes. Whoa.
Mike.
I'm looking forward to reaching a national audience with greater autonomy to focus on a variety of topics and even more digital platforms
That
connect
is
with
so
my fans.
unbelievable. Read that last sentence. More digital what?
Even more digital platforms connect with my fans.
That is
said Kirk Minahan.
Kirk has never put those words together in his life.
See, this is where this becomes
More
the fake
to
part of the show.
connect with my fans.
He runs around the office every day. Autonomy. Awesome.
Right. Well, and he was always telling me how excited he is
Synergy.
to write columns for a website in Philadelphia. He's very excited about that. Mike is in New Hampshire. Hey, Mike.
Mike,
you are ruining the talk radio industry in America. You become the host.
How am I doing
of a
that?
brand new morning show. You get paid the same as Chris Curtis and Ken Laird.
Well, I think those guys make a little more than me at this point.
So you have bumped off a few partners yourself, by the way.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I used to call Michael Hawley.
I
used to call Michael Hawley.
This has
Scott Peterson.
Yeah.
You know who that is? Scott Peterson of Boston
Scott
Radio.
Peterson,
He's a great jockey.
Right winger for the Flames, correct?
No, Scott Peterson was a cop who killed all his wives. He had like 3 wives die, and they finally got up to him. I think he might be on death row now, but he, every time he'd get sick of his wife, he'd just kill her, and he'd move on, find another wife. You have bumped up. What are you looking at me that way for? Do you understand the parallel?
I'm trying to think of who I bumped off.
You bumped off Mikey.
Okay, he deserved it.
You bumped off Merlone. Whatever happened to him?
Merlone's still on the station. I got bumped.
You bumped off
I got
Kirk
bumped 2 nights
Minahan.
and Red
You
Sox.
finally did it.
I had nothing to do with that.
You bumped off the big star of the staff, Kirk Minahan.
Didn't you hear his podcast? If you had handled it differently, there was a chance he was back.
I know. Well,
so how would I have anything
I'm full
to
of
do with
regrets
it?
now.
I'm a fill-in third person. My fault.
Tom is in the truck. Hi, Tom.
Oh, it's a great early holiday present hearing that Kirk is leaving. I love it. And the next year's holiday present is going to be when you leave Gerry in a big plastic casket. I can't wait.
Who do you want, Tom? Who would you like here with Mutt? Oh, you puss. How can I say that anymore? I'm sorry.
You can still
Tom,
say
you're
that, yes.
pathetic. I mean, you're on the phone in a truck. Why are you afraid to confront me?
I'd like to know who he wants me to replace you with at some point, I guess.
I asked, but he got scared. He got scared and hung up the phone. Tom, you puss. Now, that's one thing Kirk is going to enjoy saying. That whole word, that P word. And he's going to say it a lot. Jordan is in New Bedford. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, listen, man, I just want to give you some words of encouragement because I enjoy you on the radio, and I feel like when Kirk gets back, I think you guys should do the 3-part, man. All 3 of you together. Listen, don't worry about what the guys say, okay? You let it bother you. When you start not acknowledging these guys, that's when you're going to be free, finally. I love you, Mutt.
What guy?
Continue to do what you
Come
do.
on,
Not sure what
don't
guys.
talk, he loves you.
It's fine, but I mean we wanted all 3 of us to do a show. I was told yesterday that if the proposal to bring Kirk back to the show did include me going full time as the third host in the
yes,
show.
because they felt like you would. You know how they calm like bucking broncos? They put a lamb into the fenced-in area, into the pen, and for some reason, the presence of like a young lamb calms the bucking bronco. You're the lamb. Kirk's the bronco.
Well, you read the worst person on the radio at WEEI.
You read Seabiscuit, right? Laura Hillenbrand?
No.
Great movie. Great book.
Oh, yes,
great
I did.
movie.
I didn't see the movie.
When Seabiscuit was having his issues, he's really getting worked
So
up.
you know this.
They brought in a sheep at first, and then a dog, and then another
Isn't
horse
a
named
sheep just an older lamb?
named Pumpkin.
Oh, they bring in Richard Deitch.
And
Oh, Curtis, you can't leave me. You're like you've become a whole new person.
Hey, everybody, this is Richard Deitch.
Chris and I we have legit chemistry. There's a Curtis Mutt chemistry that I didn't quite know was going to develop, but it's blossomed.
That's true. The Battle of the Brainless brought the best out of both of you, and ever since then, you've just become, blossoming flowers.
Mutt started taking steroids.
You're
after.
like the mighty oak now. That's you. Jeff is in New Hampshire. What's up, Jeff?
Good morning, guys. So, Mutt, you are as exciting as a mayonnaise and fluff sandwich on white Wonder Bread.
I like that, yeah.
But my real question is this, gentlemen. Now that Kirk is gone, and I'm going to miss him even though he bothered the heck out of me, is Reamer going to continue to overemphasize the T at the end of each word in his hero worship of Kirk? That is going to stink. Or is that going to finally end? Because that is the most irritating thing on the radio.
I deserve to eat it.
Well, there's a
I'm not
subculture
sure.
here of the other dominoes. So the biggest personality at the station is going to radio.com. There are moving parts around. There potentially could be a spot here with Gerry. There's a spot at night now. There's a spot with Red Sox connections, Ken Laird. There's a lot going on.
Reamer wants any and all of those spots, and management wants no part of Reamer. So it's a little bit of a conflict there.
Oh, we gonna get to David Price.
Tomasi is out. He's too political, but he's okay with that because that means he can go back to sleep until noon every
You can have
day.
that ninth Guinness the night and
Yes.
more Indian food before bed. You can have to get up.
God. He's right. If we made the list of winners and losers, with how you do that after big sporting events.
Winner, Pierre
big
LeBron.
elections. winner, John Tomasi. He doesn't have to come in and do this anymore. Loser, Reamer. He's not allowed to come in and do this anymore.
No, I think Reamer's going to fight for it.
We got to hear from Reamer last night. He had one of the all-time pivots in the history of radio when he started the show.
I heard this live. It was awesome. 617-779-7937. There are changes coming. Kirk is going to radio.com. This show is changing. We are letting you react. That's the show all day. Kirk joins the city.